Welcome everyone to another video, and in this video we are going to be featuring a team that I've been using that hit legend like 2 or 3 seasons ago. And the team features Landers, Therian, Yveltal, and Dialga. It is a team I saw frequently. I don't know who originated it. Anyways, it does matter, but I don't know who to give credit to. Someone you can tag someone in the comment section below. Anyways, I went 15 and 10 with this team, 4 positive sets and 1 negative one. I'm going to show off 2 sets here. If you want to see all the battles, you can check it out on twitch.tv. I'm going to be streaming Master League pretty frequently while it's available. It's certainly one of my most favorite leagues. So we're starting off this first battle against Purple Kyogre, a fellow content creator. Great one as well. Definitely check him out. So I played this out. Usually I superpower and dip, but sometimes I do over farm here just in case people are like, watch how I play this. So I try to mix up. Sometimes I throw it 5, sometimes I throw it 6, sometimes I throw it 8. I switch out to Dialga. Sometimes I no shield this, sometimes I shield this. This case I shielded, even though the bait is super likely, though I did get Dracoed one time. And they come into Lugia. And I'm going to try to throw as late as possible because I don't want to debuff my Dragon Breath. And I would survive the Sky Attack. So I'm actually pretty happy that they decide to throw the Arrow Blast because now they're dry. It was good timing, and it made sense because I would have reached the Iron Head. And I'm going to farm this all the way down, get a very nice farm. And they come into. I probably didn't need to focus blast here, to be honest, because it does the the dark pulse does 40%, and yeah, the dark pulse is 40%. So probably would have been okay with the and each snarl is like 2.5%, and they just turn yellow, so they would have survived the move, but probably unnecessary for me to. Once they're around half, it probably makes more sense as long as I have a shield there to farm down. So worked out pretty well for me there. There were like triple Mewtwo counters, and my previous team had Mewtwo, which would have been pretty disastrous. Okay, so this is a good lead. This is where I want to see it, but it is an awkward matchup. They actually play this very nicely, and double up, and then actually decide to do one more, and then they make a catch here, which is very nice on their side. Very nice catch. And I'm going to come into Yveltal. I could have waited there because they were one off the move. I throw the Dark Pulse. I will be able to reach 2 Dark Pulse before they reach the Aero Blast. So I'm not too concerned here. They throw right before I reach the Dark Pulse. This is definitely a Sky Attack, so that's why no shield. I do 2 more, then throw, which should be on CMP. And let's see what they do here. They actually let me get to the move. I'm not sure they lag there or something. I'm not quite sure. Because Drill should win CMP. But they farm up quite a bit. Let's go and then come into. I guess they predicted that I wasn't going to throw right away. So this person's playing very nicely. And then I farm up here, and then I wait. As you see, I see the Dragonite. I decide to switch out. I should have threw the Stone Edge, to be honest. I debate shielding. Maybe shielding makes the most sense here, because I would be able to... but it doesn't really matter too much. I'm at 100 here. And this drill is at like 3, I think. 3. So, so I'm going to be able to outpace anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But maybe I could have shielded, farmed down through the Iron Head, and I have the superpower, I would win CMP tie anyways, but there was really no lose con for me as long as they didn't catch the move. This person played really nicely, though. This person definitely knows their counts, able to read their opponent quite well. Maybe their only mistake there was letting me get to the Dark Pulse and stripping that shield advantage. I guess we were even. What? Yeah. All right. Yeah, I guess they wouldn't have got the shield advantage unless they overfarmed here. So this is another good lead for me. So 3 steel leads exactly where I want to see it. Kind of an awkward situation though, to be honest. They throw a rock slide, and I need 2 superpowers to KO. And they decide to come into Groudon. And then I don't have to throw the superpower, but I am gonna throw it so I can chip it. And I decide to catch the fire punch, bank 2 superpowers. The clocks are like pretty desynced at this point in time though. So, and I want to make sure that I have energy coming out of this matchup. So they throw the fire punch. I'm gonna do 3 and then throw the move. I'm already close to rock slide range, so I don't really care too much. That's why I said undercharge. But they do a good job at taking advantage of the clock. They fire punch. They come in right away. Really nice job by them. And I come into Landorus. I do 1 mud shot, then throw because I'm at 100, almost 100 energy. And I decide to catch the move. Just put myself a little bit of energy. What are the chances they have 3 answers to Dialga? But we'll see. Okay, they do have 3 answers to Dialga, but this is okay for me. I'm just gonna Draco them. Try to throw a good timing right before the Sacred Fire. Go for the Draco. No point in me baiting because I'm gonna make up the 2 Stone Edges anyways. I have so much energy. I let this go. Maybe their best play here was to undercharge and try to farm down, but it just like it's too difficult with Ho-Oh to be able to win the game. I would have to like make an egregious error for me to lose. I guess they like had to predict the superpower bait. It's like the only like reasonable play there. Just because I had too much energy to deal with. They were actually like triple good against Dialga, but triple weak to Landorus. So, and also very weak to Kyogre. Very weak, unless they had Thunderbolt, I guess. All right. Speaking of Kyogre, this was a really good game. Did I go to Yveltal? Looks like they don't have an answer, so I farm up a little bit extra. I throw the Dark Pulse. The opponent makes a really nice play. I even overfarm. They make a nice play to catch on to Dialga, which is fine. You'll see Force Snarls will put them in the yellow. Yeah, exactly the yellow. So they're going to be at like about 10% health. And they shield, they don't shield, and they survive. I know they're not going to make it to a Draco. So I let this go. They do a nice job of doing 1 Dragon Breath and throwing there. So that way they get maximum Dragon Breath damage. I switch out. And they throw here. Decide to call it here. And I'm like, in case it's like, I don't know, what it could be in the back, but a Zacian or something like that, for example, like I need to preserve, then it's actually a Zekrom, which is so terrible for me. But perhaps they should have no shielded here, was probably their best play. But they decide to shield. Because even if I Draco there, they could probably waterfall me all the way down. And I just have to pray that I don't get debuffed. I decide to shield. But again, they probably should have thrown sooner because I actually did get debuffed. So if they would have thrown a little bit sooner, then I would have taken more Dragon Breath damage. And I need to do 1 and then throw the superpower here and hope that I survive this waterfall, which I just barely do. Maybe a little bit more than barely, but I'm able to survive and I'm able to land the second superpower, which will be enough to take out the Kyogre. So maybe no shield. I don't think there's like was a really a point to shield the Zekrom there because if I Draco, they can just waterfall down, and then they can. I wouldn't be able to make it to 3 charge moves, so a little bit of misplay on my opponent's side. But obviously, when they see Dialga in the back, like a Dialga versus that team is pretty tough outside of the Dialga mirror. All right, Giratina, rough lead here. I have two answers, but usually they have really good answers to Dialga in the back. So I try to catch the Shadow Ball, which I think I was like 1 for like 10 or something at 4. I let this go. And I'm going to do 1 Snarl, then throw. Just try to like, I did get quite a big energy advantage, so I'm trying to play this out. Shield. I'm going to have to double shield. Decide to go for the Focus Blast. And I decide to wait there and then try to catch, which I end up catching. I ended up getting the CMP tie here. Kind of weird. I'm not quite sure how that worked out, but um yeah, I'm not sure how that worked out, but regardless. And I was hoping to survive this move. Oh, I do survive the move, okay. A little bit of misplay on my side here. I don't know what I was hoping for in the back. Maybe I should have sacked. I should have just sacked the Veltal, to be honest, but they would have made it to 2 moves anyways. Let this go. And I kind of completely lost track of the energy. I thought this was going to be just an obvious win. Ended up being a Shadow Ball, and I ended up getting absolutely KO'd here. So that's very bad for me. And they end up getting to another move here, which I guess really didn't matter here because what they have in the back. They come to Malmetal. Maybe my only play there was try to farm down the Malmetal. Because it ended up being a Dialga in the back, which I would have been able to KO with Focus Blast. But anyways, well played by my opponent there. So we're going to go ahead and skip ahead. And pick up another good lead here with Landorus into Groudon, but awkward matchup. Very awkward matchup because I had to debuff myself. So I basically build a double superpower, and then I try to catch the Fire Punch. They still throw the Fire Punch. They're at quite a bit of energy. They should be at 99. So I think they're 1 short of the Precious Blade. Anyways, I decide to bait with the Dark Pulse. They end up shielding. They throw right before I get to the Dark Pulse here, and I decide to go up and go for the Focus Blast. See if they shield. They don't shield. And then they make a crazy play here. They actually come in Giratina, and I actually make it to the Dark Pulse. If they would have thrown right away, then I would have CMP tied them with Omnis Win. But they decide to farm down. They're at 7. They're at the Shadow Ball now. Let this go. I know they're very close to Precious Blade. And they make a nice play here. I know this is just a Fire Punch, though. I make sure I have the move, and then I switch. And then I CMP tie them. That was, like, not intentional, to be honest. Just happened to be the case. And then I throw the Stone Edge. This will put them super low. And it's actually not enough to KO, but I end up winning the game there. I am wearing the same outfit as my character, so that's interesting, right? So a lot of Q times. All right, we're gonna have Landorus into Mamoswine. This is absolutely disastrous here. Kind of play this out a number of different ways because this is like Mamoswine's very tough for me. I could go for the 2-to-1 shield advantage. Usually they have Dialga in the back, but this is like this time I decide to superpower right away. And usually I no shield because they almost always bait. Just because it does a ton of damage. They are gonna reach. They're gonna throw another avalanche here, which I have to shield. And they come into Dialga, and I decide to undercharge this Draco because I want to farm this down and come up with some energy. The opponent recognizes this as well. I don't know if they recognize this or yeah, I get this, they definitely do. So, and I'm gonna try to save this Dialga later for a sack. Unfortunately, they make it to the move, which is terrible for me. And I'm like, okay, if this is a Giratina in the back, I can win this game. Ends up being, I think, a Dragonite. Yeah, it ends up being a Dragonite, which is absolutely disastrous for me. There's really no chance for me. Two Dark Pulses don't KO. Dragonite, the Snarls do almost no damage. And I decided to shield here because I'm like, I'm just going to get fast moved down by this Mamoswine regardless. So there's not really any play for me. They no shield this. They come in Mamo, farm me down. Even if I make a catch, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, even if I try to make a catch here, it wouldn't have really mattered because it's just way too low. And then they absolutely destroy me with this avalanche. They honestly could have high horsepowered me and then farmed me down. So, um, not really too much I could do there. I was really hoping it's Giratina. Oftentimes, it like double dragon makes a lot of sense with the Mamoswine League because they're weak to Ho-Oh and Kyogre. Um, Obviously, Dialga is not that good against Ho-Oh, but Dragonite is very good. So we pick up another Giratina lead. Giratina is like probably the most. Again, I like having energy. So even if I don't make the catch, I like having the energy. And they come into drill. This is a playable matchup. Um, I think I bait here on the first one. And I throw the Dark Pulse. The Dark Pulse does quite a bit of damage. I double resist the mud shots. Obviously, the Rock Slides are super effective. They throw good timing. And I throw the Dark Pulse, hoping that they shield. And I decide to shield and farm down. They survive with 1 HP here. I should be able to farm down. We'll see what comes in. Okay, I bait. The Focus Blast would do quite a bit of damage. And then I bank the move and then switch in Superpower, which does a pretty good amount of damage. But once I land the Superpower, this game's over. They try to catch the second one. I was hoping to survive this, to be honest, but it doesn't really matter too much. I cut through the Dark Pulse. I guess there's lots of things I could have did here, but I decided to just to sack the Dialga fully. The opposing Dialga doesn't have a move. So they throw the Shadow Ball. I could have threw the Iron Head, I guess. But it doesn't really matter. I'm going to be able to farm down this Dialga. I already have a move banked. They decide to undercharge that, or I'm not sure what they decide to do there. And as I throw the Focus Blast, I'm able to take out the Dialga. So Giratina like double dragon. No, Giratina double steel, I should say, was the team composition there. All right, Dragonite again, awkward lead here. I try to catch the superpower, assuming that they're gonna throw when I get to the Stone Edge, but they don't. And I'm not gonna shield this because I do expect them to have an answer to Dialga in the back. They throw the superpower. They actually come into Mewtwo here. Very interesting play. Think about shielding this, but the Iron Head doesn't KO. And I'm gonna come into Yveltal, but this Dragonite is very disastrous for me. And I decide to gamble here, hope that they just have Shadow Ball. They don't have Ice Beam or Thunderbolt or Flamethrower, everything resisted. So throw the Dark Pulse. I'm at 100, so I haven't moved banked, but it's really like very tough position for me. Yeah, very tough position. I need 2 Dark Pulses here, but this Dragonite also has a little bit of residual energy. I go get the extra Snarl. I should have thrown sooner here. I over farm just a little bit too much. Yeah. I want to come out with as much energy as possible, but I should have thrown before. And what do they have in the back? They end up having Groudon in the back. Yeah, I should have thrown sooner. Preserve the shield. Then with the shield, I could probably make some plays. And they make a nice play here, throwing the move. And really not too much I can do here because I'm going to feint to 2. Very interesting they didn't come Groudon into the Dialga. Yeah, nice play with them. They decided to no shield there. Makes total sense. Not really too much I can do here. The super hard is like 35% or something like that. So yeah, not really too much I can do there. Very well played by the opponent. All right, I think this is the final battle of the set I'm going to show. Obviously, you can check out the rest of the battles on twitch.tv/kingiv. And as well, you can check me out on Twitch to see me do some live battles. All right, so I decided to switch out right away because I have 2 better Pokemon in the back. And I no shield this. I do expect them to come Dialga right afterwards. They do come into Dialga. And I decided to throw the Draco as late as possible. So that way, if they no shield, it's very dangerous. Maybe I should have thrown 1 Dragon Breath sooner because I could have lost the Dialga there. And think about how to play this. And it should just be an Iron Head. So I no shield this. I build up to double superpower. And then I throw the superpower, and then I look to switch right away. I win this game here by a slightly misplay, which you'll see very shortly here. Here comes the Ho-Oh. Do 1 more Snarl, then I'm going to throw before they get to the Sacred Fire. They're at 3 right now. And they throw the Sacred Fire. So I'm hoping for no debuff, but they end up getting the debuff. So I do 3, then throw, 2, 3. This is extremely bad for me. Extremely bad. And a shield. I thought I could make it to the move there. I should have just superpowered though, to be honest. And I throw. I'm gonna win CMP versus this Ho-Oh. They have the move now. And I throw right away. But if I threw the superpower, this would have been a very clean win as opposed to being super close. Shadow Ball is very close to KOing. As you can see, I'm going to be left with like 5 HP. Actually, maybe I wouldn't, if they threw a more efficient time with Mewtwo, maybe I wouldn't have survived the Psycho Kai. Probably would have survived the Psycho Kai, but worked out pretty well for me. Again, overall win 15-10. Very fun team. I like playing this team. I like superpowering and bailing, getting that shield advantage, putting Dialga in a very good position, then try to close out. Obviously, the team is very weak to Zacian in the back, so you have to try to bail with the Zacian. Landers has a positive match for Zacian, not a dominating matchup, but is a pretty positive one. So you want to try to bait out with Dialga. Anyways, let me know what you think of this video. What do you think of this team? If you give it a shot, let me know how it goes. If you like, so like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see everyone in the next video.